Hello everyone. Today we are happy to share you about our assignment project related to the village by the sea, in which the project is focused on chapter 9. We have four members, and the first one is me, Wan Tin, who manages all slide presentations and video. Second one is our pretty girl Mulin. The third one is Waterlane, and the last one is Red. And here is the task of them. Task 1 will be presented by Mr. Tallane, and next task will be in the hand of our pretty girl Mulin, and task 3 will be explained by Mr. Red.
Hello everyone, I'm Wutale, and today I'm going to talk about the summary of chapter 9. The work in the kitchen of Sri Krishna was not easy. The eating house looked like it never shut down. Whenever customer demand anything, they have to do it, even if in day or at night. Jagu, the restaurant owner, is paying Harry a rupee a day, or 7 rupees a week, plus free meal and accommodation. Harry was very happy because he can earn money and give it to his family. The only thing that Harry uncomfortable with is that he was not able to go home even when the work is done. At night, when Harry's job is done, he comes out of the restaurant. Outside the restaurant, the environment seemed to be lively. People come out of cinema singing and shouting. People use cars to deliver goods to the market. The light in the city was always lit up. However, Harry is not in the mood. He missed the feel of the sea, sand, and coconut palms. He really missed his seaside village. He'd been away for one season, but it feels like it's been forever. Due to lack of sleep, Harry almost had fallen ill. The atmosphere in the eating house is very bad, the air is stuffy, and it is hard to breathe. So he come outside and sleep in the bench, which the atmosphere is cooler than the eating house. Outside, there is an old watch mender who had stayed late to fix the watch and saw Harry and asked him what the matter with him and asked if he feeling ill or not. Harry just shook his head because he is very tired and lack of sleep. Then the watch mender asked he cannot sleep in there, and then he suggests Harry to sleep in the park. The park that the watch mender told Harry to go changed Harry's life. The park is great. It is surrounded by buildings, warm grass. Despite that, it is nowhere near the seaside. However, it has been to lay on, have pigeons, and start to look at night. The park was watched by one policeman. He is a serious man. When he see Harry sleeping in the park, he told him to get up and tell him this is not the right place to sleep in. Then Harry said he has nowhere to sleep. The police still not convinced and still insist that Harry has to go. Suddenly, the old man walked by and talked to the police and tell him about people playing cards and drinking on the other side of the park. Why he have to bully this boy? Why not go to catch people who are playing cards and drinking? After the policeman heard about the situation, he no longer here to cause trouble for Henry and go to see the people that the old man talked about. After all of that, the policeman greet Harry whenever he comes to sleep in the park. Harry feels very happy and safe because he have a policeman watch over him while he slept. When he woke up, he saw people coming to the park feeding the animal and thought to himself if he were them, he would never waste money on feeding the animal. A while later, he suddenly saw a group of students come past him and he immediately thought of his sister, Bella and Kalma, in student uniform and running and skipping down the road to school. He really missed his two sisters and he wished he could send them a message. The work in the eating house became easier, and Harry felt very happy. People start talking to him. When he have a free time, he always come outside and sit on the bench. One afternoon, when he free from work, he come outside. The watchman there approached The road called him and asked if he want to help and want to teach him how to fetch watch. At that day, the watchmender get the old clock from an old man. Old clock like that doesn't come across his shop very often, so he let Harry see it. Harry was impressed. Mr. Panwala, the watchmender, seemed to like the boy and want to teach him, so he asked is he interested in learning with him, but he has to ask his boss. Mr. Chagu agreed with Harry and let him learn how to fetch the watch from the watchmender. Mr. Watchmender expects that Harry will able to fetch the watch by himself when the monsoon over because Harry is hardworking and committing young boy. Back in Toul, while the family preparing to depart, the visitor arrived at Mont Repos. Before Mr. De Silva family left, he told Leila that her mother will be okay and tell her that leave her at the hospital during the monsoon is very good choice. After the family is gone, an elderly man with a white beard and glasses come outside. The girl notices him, but he does not notice them. They whisper to each other that he seems to be studying birds. The old man proves to be an easy person to keep in the house. He quiet, polite, and rarely interact with other people. One day he gives the girls money for sweet. Leela is grateful to be earning money. She can stock the house with food and she visits her mother in the hospital each week. Kama wonders, though, if the visitor will leave during the monsoon season, as most people do. This is for all the main event and summary in chapter 9.
Hello teacher and hello everyone. My name is Hyung Wei Ling and I'm the one who responsible for test 2, which is about the psychoanalytic criticism theory, and my group has drawn out 3 main mistakes of it, ego and superego, and also 1 main mistake of ego defense mechanism from chapter 9. But before we move on to our example, let us get to know a bit about it, ego, and superego first. As you can see in this picture, ego is in the center as it has balance between it and superego. And as we already studied, it's related to our instinct, and superego is related to our morality, and ego is the result of our decision making. To make us understand more about it, ego, and superego, now let us move on to our example. And the first example is taken from page 105. Harry had just felt the luxury of stretching out and putting his feet up after a hard day at the eating house, and he sat up, miserable. I have nowhere to go, he said. I live here. Now we are going to identify it, ego, and superego. And the it in this example is miserable. Harry feels miserable as he walked all long day at the eating house. And it is step 1 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It related to physiological needs. And how about superego? The superego in this example is not directly stated, but it can infer that it is a bad example, as it is in the city park, so it's not a place for Harry to live or to sleep there. And how about ego? In the end, how did Harry decide? Harry decided to tell the policeman that he had nowhere to go and he lived here. And how did ego balance between it and superego? Which one did Harry follow? And the result is Harry followed it because he feels very suffocated and miserable after working at the eating house all day. And he decided to just stay still at the park and told the policeman that he don't have any place to go and he lived there, even though the policeman is returning to take him to the police station. And now let's go to the next example. It is taken from page 103. Harry was confronted to it day and night. He worked in the kitchen and in the front room, was and bathed under the tap at the back, ate his meal at the table when there was no customer around, and slept on the bed or sometimes on a dusty black floor. This was the hardest of all. Now we are going to identify it, ego, and superego. Can you guys guess what it in this example is? It in this example is Harry feel tired and uncomfortable. It is in the level 1 and level 2 of Maslow hierarchy need. It is related to physiological need and safety need. Now move on to superego. As you can see, it is about love and belonging, safety need and physiological need. As when working in the eating house, Harry got 3 free meals plus to sleep, and he could even sell money back to his family too. And what about ego? It is the reality between it and superego. In the end, Harry decided to confront to it day and night. And how did ego balance between it and superego? Which one win the fight? And the result is superego won the fight because Harry tried to overcome everything and continue to stay in Bombay and work even harder at the eating house. As by working in there, at least he can have food to eat, place to sleep, and he can bring money back home to his family at all too. And last but not least, we are going to talk about ego defense mechanism. And we're taking this example from page 105. The policeman stood chewing his mustache uncertainly. He grunted, not knowing quite what to do. And the answer is regression. As we already studying ego defense mechanism about regression. Regression is when someone shows physical reaction like stress or anxiety or more. And in this example, the policeman chewing his mustache uncertainly, and he also made a sound like he grunted. And it's all point to the sign of physical reaction, like he feel uncertainly and he also not knowing what to do at the time.
After finished studying Chapter 9 of Village by the Sea, our group has found real-life situations that are related to the chapter, which are police brutality and codependency between the classes. The similarity is police brutality toward homeless people. As mentioned in the book, Harry couldn't sleep in the shop because it was too hot and hard to fall asleep, so the old watchman recommended Harry to snooze in the park. While he was trying to sleep on a wooden bench, a park policeman came to threaten and almost harass and abuse him with a baton. Fortunately, an old gentleman had walked by the scene and saved Harry by humiliating the uniformed law enforcer. The old man pointed out that he should be doing his job, protecting the city, catching criminals and crooks, instead of abusing and intimidating a vulnerable child. The policeman was ashamed and had no comeback, so he had left Harry alone on the bench. In the real world, there isn't any kind old gentleman to come and help prevent a police officer from violently hurting homeless people that are trying to seek shelters in public places because they don't have a home to stay in. The government of some city have employed police officers to torment the homeless out of the city so that they don't ruin the image of their beautiful cities. Most of them do not even take measures to actually provide help for those who don't have roofs over their heads because it is cheaper and easier to drive them out of the city than actually providing help to them. Instead of looking down at them, we as a society need to change our way of thinking and try to reintroduce them to the community. The local authorities should impose programs that reach out to homeless people and assist them in building their life back up again. One of the plans should be housing homeless shelters by utilizing the lands and houses that don't have any occupants in them. Another measure is to introduce food bank that have food readily available for them so they don't have to waste time worrying about food by begging or stealing from other people. Furthermore, the local governors should host educational courses to train them valuable skills like plumbing so then they can work when they get out of the homeless shelter. And they can also host rehabilitation courses for those that suffer from problems like mental illness, drug abuse, alcohol addiction, etc. Helping them escape from poverty to live as a normal functioning citizen to give back to the community can be a benefit in the long run. Similarity is codependency between the rich and the poor. We learned that Lila's family was poor and dysfunctional with a sick mother and a drunkard father. They were barely able to survive with their daily routines except when the De Silvas occasionally came to live in Tulle for a while and provided Lila's family with short-term employment. It was because of the Silvas' pity that Lila's mother was able to get the medical help she needs. On the other hand, the Silvas had to hire people to cook, clean, serve and look after their vacation home so that they can live a luxurious and comfortable life. This meant that Lily's family depends on the Silvas' fortune and mercy to be able to survive. And in return, the Silvas can only live luxuriously on the back of the poor people laborers like the cook, the cleaner and Lila's family running grocery for them. However, the case is also true. Due to the working system of late-stage capitalism, poor working-class people have to rely on the rich's mercy and kindness to be barely able to survive in the society. They have to wait for donations from the rich to charities and organizations so they can have help they need it. In addition, they have to rely on others' sympathy to raise money for them to afford basic necessities like food and hospital bills. Similarly, the rich also depends on poor people laborers to produce goods and services for the rich to enjoy. The very rich 1% is only able to be this rich by exploiting and stealing the fruit of labor and wealth from the poor, like the poor Chinese woman making an iPhone for the rich European consumers, or the starving Indonesian kids working in a sweatshop producing shoes for the fat American. Those poor people are paid so little compared to the effort they put in, while the factory owners, they don't have to do anything and they can earn a lot of money. The dependency can be weakened by returning the stolen and hoarded wealth by the top 1% back to the rightful owners, which are the working class people. This can be achieved by lawmakers passing laws and regulations that actually benefit everyone, not just the elites. One of them is raising the minimum wage to a livable wage so employers can exploit blue-collar workers by paying them little bit. Moreover, employers must provide benefits to the employee like sick leave so the workers don't lose money when they are sick, or annual sick leave for the employees to relax, maternal and paternal leave for young soon-to-be parents so they don't have to worry losing promotion and salary taking care of their babies. In addition, the government can also provide free, necessary and emergency services like free universal healthcare and cheap prescription drugs, free public education from kindergarten to university, free public transportation so people don't have to worry about those things. This can all be paid by imposing a heavy wealth tax and progressive tax, which means that the richer someone is, the more they pay in tax.
And now it is the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoy it.